Okay, everybody, today we're going to be having a bit of fun, and I'm going to be talking about Link's abilities from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and turning them into Dungeons & Dragons magic items. As a disclaimer, this video is meant to be, like I said, fun and lighthearted. I don't expect any of these items to be necessarily balanced per se, but I do think it'll be an interesting exercise to writing more interesting D&D magic items in general. This mummified arm, pulsating with an eerie blue glow, can be found attached to the corpse of an ancient evil. In order to attune to this wondrous magic item, one must sever their own arm and graft this one to their skin as a replacement. This strays slightly from the events of the game, but I feel as though a sacrifice should be made in order to gain the power that is to come, because the power that is to come is immense. Attunement to this arm takes a full long rest and causes the wielder to lose consciousness. Once attuned and attached to this arm, one gains the ability to cast Knock at will. Like in the game, how we see Link constantly going throughout and opening chests, shrines, and activating all sorts of things with his arm, it's only natural that the players in D&D should be able to do the same. And when casting Knock through the arm, the spell causes all objects to fling open, including ones that are affected by Arcane Lock, not just disabling the Arcane Lock, but actually flinging the object open. The arm also allows one to cast Mage Hand at will, allowing the wielder to detach the arm from itself and act as a Mage Hand. This happens one time in the game, and the arm carries Link out of a hole, but I think it would be super cool, and I'm sure your players will too. The true power of the arm, however, lies in its abilities to allow one to attune to the secret powers of the ancients. This spectral red orb of ancient power pulsates in your new arm as it absorbs into your skin, and you feel great power and a new ability unlock within you. The Ultra Hand is attuned to instantaneously, with the only prerequisite being that one must be attuned to the arm of the ancients. Once attuned, one will gain the ability to grab and move objects, rotate them, and stick them to other objects. And as you can see here, the limits of this ability are sort of insane when we think about the rules applying to Dungeons & Dragons. But by quoting Google, we know that Link is 5 feet and 2 inches tall. And to estimate and round in order to not lose my mind, I would say that this hunk of rock here is about 10 feet tall. With that knowledge, we can start to translate this to D&D, and we know that the maximum range that Link can grab an item is 45 feet. That means that he can also take a grabbed item and move it 45 feet away from him in any direction and attach it to kind of any surface. I'll leave that to the DM's discretion, orienting the object at any angle he sees fit. But an object can only be attached to another object that is within 5 feet of it. More objects can be attached after, but you cannot attach an object to two surfaces at the same time, as we see in the game. So, for the ancient power of the Ultra Hand, once attuned, one can use an action to gain the ability to grab any object, regardless of weight, and freely moving it anywhere within 45-foot diameter of oneself. One can then choose to attach the object to another object within 5 feet of it, or let go. The objects are attached with a thick green resin that creates a strong bond between the objects instantaneously. When attaching an object to another, the object must only be attached to one surface per turn, but the amount of objects the Ultra Hand can connect is only limited to 21. Once connected, using the Ultra Hand ability, these objects are now considered as one, and will be treated as such when using the Ultra Hand ability again. As a bonus action, one could detach an object from any other object that it has been attached to previously. The Ultra Hand, however, cannot grab objects being worn or weld by another creature. The Ultra Hand cannot pick up living creatures either, unless that creature is willing. If a creature is willing to be used by the Ultra Hand, then it is treated as any other object the Ultra Hand can handle. This spectral blue orb of ancient power pulsates in your new arm as it absorbs into your skin, and you feel great power and a new ability unlock within you. Fuse is also attuned instantaneously as long as one is attuned to the arm of the ancients. And Fuse is also super powerful. Fuse allows Link to combine his weapons, shield, and ammunition with any other object in the game, giving them added effects. But implementing this into Dungeons & Dragons is much easier than the last one was. For the ancient power of fusing, one gains the ability to combine any weapon, shield, or piece of ammunition with another object, granting it a bonus effect, whether that be a damage effect or utility. And this is done by using bonus actions to fuse the two objects together. The objects, when they are fused together, use the same thick green adhesive that the Ultra Hand ability uses. For example, combining your sword with a black dragon's fang is going to allow you to use your sword and do an additional amount of acid damage on top of your regular attack. Or, combining a crossbow bolt with a smoke pellet will cause a plume of smoke to accumulate wherever the bolt makes contact. A lot of the fuse's effectiveness and abilities will need to be up to the DM's discretion, but all fuse abilities only last until they are used. After their use, they are promptly destroyed, and a new fuse would have to be done. This spectral green orb of ancient power pulsates in your new arm as it is absorbed into your skin, and you feel great power and new ability unlock within you. One also attunes to the power of Ascension instantaneously if they are attuned to the Arm of the Ancient Power. Ascend is probably the only ability I really see working good in the game world of D&D, and that is because, once again, thanks to our 10-foot squares, we know that the power of Ascension allows one to instantly teleport through any flat 10-foot square surface above them as long as the surface is no higher than 50 feet above the wielder's head. One attuned to the power of Ascension can teleport by using an action and then be given a chance to return to where they were by using a bonus action immediately after teleporting. When teleporting, one feels as though they are swimming to the surface of a deep pool of water. Ascension is pretty simple. You teleport to the thing above you, and it really just seems like it's a lot of fun and is the only one of these I would honestly recommend you put into your games. I think everyone would have a grand old time using this. This spectral golden orb of ancient power pulsates in your new arm as it is absorbed into your skin, and you feel great power and new ability unlock within you. Recollection, like the others, is immediately attuned to once it is collected, as long as one is attuned to the Arm of the Ancients. Recall is probably the most overpowered of these abilities, because it allows one to rewind the movement of any object by 20 seconds. And if the immediate repercussions of that onto a D&D game doesn't sound crazy enough, I have also not only been able to recall objects in Tears of the Kingdom, but certain projectiles as well, as long as they are an in-game object, like rocks and boulders that were sent at me, I have been able to send back to various enemies. Which means that the power of recollection allows one attuned to it to rewind the movement of any object not being worn or carried by a living creature by 20 seconds. But if a creature is willing, their movement may be rewound. The object being recalled must be within 45 feet diameter range of the wielder, but may leave the range of the wielder if its movement requires it to do so. The power of recollection also allows the wielder to use a reaction to send back an object that will damage the wielder or the wielder's allies. In order to succeed, the wielder must make a ranged spell attack on the object and beat said object's armor class. When an object is recalled, it is sent back at the same rate that it moved at in its last 20 seconds of movement, but the wielder may use a bonus action at any time during the recall to cancel the movement, leaving the object still wherever it was when the recall was canceled, even if it's midair. When recalling, time continues to move as normal for all the objects and living creatures besides, of course, the object or living creature being recalled. That's a lot of technical jargon, but if you really think about it, this is probably the most powerful of all of these and would almost definitely break your game. If you have creative players, any and all of these items will cause them to have a blast, but they will surely break the game, so be wary of using any of these magic items I just discussed. If you want to see more videos like this one, let me know in the comments, and if you liked this video, please consider leaving a like and even subscribing. Thank you for watching, and have fun playing D&D.